Trizzy the rapper. He come with the clappers.
Alright guys, here is the last video that we're going to do for leaving salt behind and improving in our POGG, the process of getting good series. Zach, bro, what is good, homie? What is good, bruh? Desalination tutorial? What in the world is that? I don't even know what that word means. Bro, I've just never seen that word in my life. I've never seen that word in my entire life. I don't know, bro. Maybe I didn't live long enough. Desalination is the process of turning seawater into fresh water. We're about to use that word there. Topic number 1 is you need to make sure in your games when you lose to someone, you need to ask them how did you lose? An important thing that is good that I talked about in the other videos was that asking people to play again is very good, but asking people how you lost is even better, because then they'll tell you information that you wouldn't have even thought about before, information that they picked up on that you couldn't have picked up on, information that you wouldn't have even thought about. You're just like, you can't really do anything in a certain matchup, and they're telling you something like your timing's off. Well, in our beginner video, we talked about experimenting, and that's your time to experiment on how to get better timing against this person or this character, despite you feeling like you can't do anything. Like against, like, I don't know, Yoshimitsu, having good timing is pretty good, but a lot of times it feels like that matchup makes you just not want to press, not want to do anything. You get stuffed out of all your buttons. So, or like Claudio, for example, he has a running 2. His move is pretty oppressive. You don't want to trade with this move, but if the person you lost to said you need to jab float them, well, now's your time to try that, you know? Now's your time to be like, okay, I'm gonna try some new things to make sure I get this matchup on point, you know? So, there's that. Okay, on the next topic of leaving desalination or in the process of desalination, shout out to Zachary for blessing us with that word. Zachary the Elder, Yoshimitsu God. Just had to throw that out there. We need to understand that taking risks is actually a part of the game, and in order to improve, you can't not take risks. It's not possible to improve and to not take risks at the same time, especially when you're dealing with a better player than you are. This is like how to improve 101 against a better player. You have to take risks. This is one thing where it's not only good to take risks against a better player because of the fact that you might win, but because of the fact that you'll also learn how to win. That's the only way to win, and that's the only way to learn how to win too. You're hitting one bird with two. Oh my god! You're throwing a rock and you're hitting 2 birds at the same exact time. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't believe that took me so long. So let's say, for example, you have Claudio, who has a very good jab, right? And he has a very good 1-2 jab. Well, he does something like jab, back 3 every time he approaches you. But this time he does something like jab, and then he starts spacing you again, and he does jab again, and then jab back 3. Or let's just assume that was a back 3, bruh. You know. Well, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get plus frames off of you. If this jab hits, he's +1. as well as it's very hard to react to a jab in the first place. Like, I'm actually jabbing right here. I'm actually jabbing, and it's got to be instant. This jab, it has to be instant, you know? They're trying to throw you off of your game, and what you need to do is start taking risks by challenging this jab. Challenge with your own jab. Sometimes if you're noticing that if he's just backing off after the jab, well, now I'm going to mix you up while you're backing off. I'm starting to find your tendencies, and I'm going to try to mix you up, you know? This is a risk that I'm going to take because it seems like the best way to beat you. Or I'm going to electric. Hitting someone with electric when they're jabbing is probably the best thing you could possibly do. So, you know, make sure that you're taking risks in order to learn the game and in order to try to win at the same time. Sidestepping is also a risk that you can take. Trying to find somebody's timing. Even staying patient is also a risk that people don't want to take. People just want to press buttons all day to get their turn back in order to pressure their opponent. They just want to do electrics all day, do jab strings, make sure your opponent's just on a defensive. But staying patient is also a good option for you that you might want to try. But it's also a risk. It's also a risk that you have to try for yourself to see if it works, you know? To see if it's a better option than you trying to challenge everything. Like I did right there. Got hit by both the jab and the back three. But yeah. The next topic I want to talk about is how saltiness can affect your gameplay, and the fact that it can just ruin your whole thought process when you play the game. Shoutouts to Hot Dog Jin for this topic. But he's brought to my attention that if you play in ranked and if you're playing somebody over and over, right? Those are just like salty runbacks at that point. If you're getting hit by Snake Edge or like some sort of gimmick over and over, and you're not really like trying to process how you're losing, that's just salty runbacks. Like you're not really trying to play to win. You're trying to play until you get lucky. Until you get lucky, to be honest. And playing salty is only going to make you worse. You're going to be mashing. You're going to be doing things that you usually don't do in matches. Just because, you know, you're just angry. You're angry at Marduk, for example. Marduk should be able to get away with things in neutral, but now you're mashing buttons in neutral, and you're getting hit by even more stuff by him, you know? Even more stuff than you did before, which makes it even worse. So, definitely don't play salty. Don't do any salty runbacks unless you start thinking about how you're losing. You need to really think about that. It's very important. The next topic is an important one about how to approach offline locals. Let's say that you want to improve at the game, right? Well, now you have the chance to go to your offline locals, which could be very close. It could be 40 minutes away. But it doesn't matter the distance. It's all about going there to see how it would go, because you can improve so much just from going to your locals like one time, you know. Chances are people that you already talked to on ranked or just on your Steam friends or whatever on Twitter, you ask them, yo, do you go to a local? They're in your area. You're like, yo, do you go to a local? And they say, yeah. Next time, go with them, you know? Offline locals are just very important. They just help you out a lot. You get to have practice games with a whole bunch of people, play characters that you don't usually play against. People tell you information that you didn't even know about before, and you just have all around a good time. Offline locals are just way more fun. It's just way more fun to play offline, you know? So, there's that. And then the last topic that I want to talk about is when you lose in these tournaments. Let's say you do go 0-2, right? Let's say you are a 0-2 type of player. Well, what are you doing after your losses? You really need to think about what you're actually doing after these losses. Are you just sitting there being salty for the next few days, and then you're just like, it just clicked on me that I'm losing to something over and over every week, when you could have been labbing that right after you lost, you know? Generally labbing things right after you lose is just better because it sticks in your head. You're salty, and that salt is another translation for a drive to win. That can be that's a drive to win. You just generally feel like you need to win more because of how you lost right after you lost, rather than you sitting there feeling better about the situation, just being like, it's whatever. Next few days later you try to lab it, but you don't even remember when you get back into your match. Well, the reason why you don't remember is because you sat there forgetting about the situation in the first place. You know, having these important situations stick in your head is going to be your key to winning. It's going to be your key to winning. But yeah, that's basically my entire advanced version of the video. This third video of the process to getting good. So I hope you guys are going to start leaving the salt behind and start improving at the game, whether you play in ranked or whether or not you play in tournament. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to make sure that y'all comment if y'all like the video, and you know, all that other good stuff. And I appreciate y'all watching this. So yeah. Hey bruh. You was real close to interrupting that video, but I already said my outro. You was real close too. You was real close, bruh. You was real close.
Glad you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share and leave a comment. And if you like to see more of Trizzy's content, make sure to stay tuned and hit the subscribe button.